You have been quoted as saying a lot of the advice from your mentors, they were telling you, hey, don't be afraid to take big risks as a head coach. So what were some of those risks that you took?
These are very intimate questions here, Sue.
We're coming with the hard hitters. We haven't even gotten to your playing career yet. That's next. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Before we get started today with our usual shenanigans, we did want to take a second to talk about something that is impacting millions of Americans. As of this recording, the federal government has been shut down for about a month. And starting on November 1st, over 40 million Americans are losing their SNAP benefits. This is also known as food stamps, for those that don't know what SNAP is. The Trump administration has said that it would not tap emergency funds to keep SNAP going, and food banks around the country are bracing for a surge in demand. I know, Megan, this is something that you have seen firsthand.
Yeah, totally. I have, family members who are single parents that use SNAP. They're working, they're going to school. I think it's like there's a ton of different people who rely on SNAP benefits and other government-assisted programs that, mind you, guys, we all pay for. It's like, this is where the money's coming from. That they rely on them for their everyday lives, and they're amazing programs that, feed kids and help families. And there's no reason why this can't be funded, and this feels very cruel to not do that. So just, I just wanted to say that because it touches so many different people and so many different walks of life. And I think sometimes there's just a stigma around, government assistance or food stamps or, the kind of tropes around that. And it's just like not true. And that hasn't been true in my own life. So there's some ways that you can contribute. So if you're wondering how you can help or you want to get involved and contribute, you can definitely contribute to your local food banks to support their work. We will list a number of them in our show notes, and you can also find your nearest food bank on the website feedingamerica.org. So tap into that. Again, we're going to put a bunch of local ones for us, New York and Seattle, and some national ones in our show notes, but also feedingamerica.org if you want to get involved and help contribute to that. So just want to take a little time to talk about that before we get back to the sports. Dun, dun, dun.
And now we're back to the sports.
Well, we went to our first, but I'm the one retired from it. Our first domestic international women's game.
I don't think I realized it was your first.
Yeah.
And now looking back, of course it was your first.
I was kind of in charge of logistics, and
You were in charge?
I was kind of in charge of logistics, and I made every logistical error that you could
She's
possibly.
not a fan. As it turns out, you don't know what being a soccer fan is. You
It's
don't know
a
what being a fan of the U.S.
grind.
women's national team is.
Why is every stadium have one long road in and one long road out?
I
was
can only
wild.
imagine the laughs and or eye rolls you just got from everybody listening who's ever gone to one of your games.
I know, literally. All my friends and family are like, literally, F the F off.
It was so funny because, let's say the game was at 7 and you guys were like in charge, and it's you. I'm naming names. Allie Krieger, Lori Lindsay, in charge. And we were like, we're in Philadelphia, but the stadium's actually outside. So we're like, 30 minutes. Yeah. And they're like, we can just leave at 6:30.
Well, did we have to get out of the Uber and walk?
We sure did.
Did one person who was also
Megan
with us
Klingenberg had to run. Sorry, I didn't know you were about to say that.
No. You're going exactly where I'm going. Did Megan Klingenberg had to run to her parents that she had because we were late because we were stuck in traffic in the Uber because there's one GD road in and one GD road out? Yes.
To be a fan of the women's national team is to know you have to leave at least an hour and a half before to basically park and tailgate. And that's where you love the Lavells. Rose Lavell's parents always had a place for us to gather, and then you leisurely walk in and you're on time. You also made the same mistake on the way out.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I just
tried to get an Uber.
I just wasn't clocking anything. I just wasn't clocking.
That one actually didn't fall just on you.
No, but I should have known to pre-plan to have.
Yeah, it was baby's first. It was baby's first time being a fan.
Yeah, so a lot of lessons learned for sure.
But we were there for
Alex's retirement celebration game. U.S. Soccer did back-to-back celebration games. This one was in Philly for Alex Morgan. And then a few days later in Connecticut for Alyssa Nair. Both incredible turnouts.
She got herself a Connecticut Sun jersey.
She got herself a
Alyssa
Sun
did.
jersey.
A little jersey swap.
She might try to get herself a tryout. I don't know.
Hey, she's got good size.
The game we were at, they actually ended up losing, which wasn't great. Still, honestly, I'm like, you never want to lose. You lose game bonus, you lose, pride a little bit. But it's like the worst FIFA window. I always hated this FIFA window so much. You're at the very end of your season. You're preparing for playoffs. It's just like these games shoved in there. You're disjointed. We're still missing the triple espresso. We're still missing Naomi Girma. So it's just like, it's not our full team. But it's also always an opportunity to win a game and to like stamp yourself in the team. And Emma's always watching. So that was kind of a bummer. Team bounced right back.
The popcorn was really good.
Yeah, Sue was caught on the altcast with the popcorn, and
Abby was caught eating a chicken wing. So.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
After we just said
the girls are hungry.
You probably shouldn't eat the chicken wing here because you're probably going to get caught. She got caught. Got a text 5 minutes later.
Girls are hungry. 3 days later, they bounced back. They won 3-1 against same opponent, Portugal. Olivia Moultrie can't stop scoring 2 goals at the same time. Every time she scores twice. It's great for club and country.
Club and country.
Yeah, for club and country.
I always think of like the army. God, core, country.
That's basically what, yeah, club and country.
Should we start the show?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm Megan Rapinoe.
And I'm Sue Bird. This is A Touch More. Let's get into it.
Support for A Touch More comes from Google Pixel and the all-new Google Pixel 10. With Google Pixel's most powerful chip, unbelievable camera quality, and mind-blowing AI with Gemini, there's never been a better time to get outside of your comfort phone. It's got Magic Q, the time-saving feature that gets you the right info when you need it. Plus, a built-in camera coach that helps guide you on how to take the best pic. And you can generate videos of pretty much anything you can imagine with Gemini. Head to the Google Store now to learn more about how Google Pixel never settles.
Gemini mobile app availability varies. Check responses. Internet connection required. Magic Q availability varies. Camera coach results may vary. Subscription required and availability varies for VO3 video generation. Users 18 and up.
Support for A Touch More comes from Delta. I know where I want to be, so how do I get there? It's the question at the start of every season. It begins with small steps, and every step propels you toward new heights. Because there's always more to reach for. And Delta Airlines is there to help connect you to your full potential. That's why Delta is the official airline of the National Women's Soccer League, helping you get to where you need to be, from season kickoff to the championships. Okay. We're back on the CBA train. Because Sue,
that thing's still going?
I'm in a panic. It expires.
Expired
in 3 days. Everyone, they better get the deal done or there's not going to be a WNBA season.
I mean,
tell everybody it expires on October 31st. That would be so spooky. Is this normal?
This is normal.
Oh, thank God.
Everyone can take a deep breath.
I don't think any collective bargaining has ever gotten done on the date that is supposed to be done.
Why are you so panicked?
In every single field that has CBAs and does collective bargaining, there's never been one. Anyways.
Well, you're absolutely right.
Tell people what's normal.
True. That is true for the WNBA as well. I don't think there's been, in fact, I'm almost positive there has not been a WNBA CBA done on time. There's always been some sort of extension and pushback. So that will likely be the case here. Listen, we'll find out in a couple of days, but I think there'll be an extension. They'll continue to work on it. Mm-hmm. But this kind of gave us an opportunity to hop into a little bit of a history lesson, a touch more history, if you will.
Okay.
You like that?
I do. I see what you did there.
So for those that don't know, first CBA, 1999, kind of just started all out. Got to get unionized, got to start protecting players. Cool. Next CBA, which was my second year, was 2003. This one, almost a lockout. By the way, for those that don't know, if the league is the one that doesn't like things, it's called a lockout. If the players are the one, it's called a strike. I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah. But we usually just say lockout.
Like
Anyways, eventually got signed in April.
Oh.
And I vividly remember this because I was waiting to fly out to Seattle for training camp. And it was basically like, okay, it's April 20th, let's say. And they're like, all right, your flight's April 21st. A day would go by. Okay, your flight's the 22nd. It got pushed back for like, I don't even know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. Finally, things got done. David Stern did threaten to cancel the season. Something else to note, the WNBA was owned 100% by the NBA at that point. So David was kind of like the voice.
Yeah.
But we got it done. Free agency was introduced, some, vet minimums and minimum salaries in general, and we went to individual ownership, which brings us to the next CBA, 2008. This one was signed in January. So again, not on time.
A couple months extended.
Couple things happened. Player salaries increased that year, and they lowered the number of core years. As I was kind of looking up some tidbits, and we're almost through my CBA history lesson here, this was, what I'm about to read, was at the top of the release for the 2008 CBA being signed. The announcement follows a successful 2007 season in which the WNBA set attendance records for playoffs and finals and saw regular season attendance increase by 2%. Similarly, viewership of the WNBA playoffs on ESPN2 delivered an aggregate 15% increase year to year versus 2006, while average viewership of the WNBA finals increased by 12%. I could go on. Sound familiar? Isn't that interesting? Okay, we already know where we're going with that one. That brings us to 2014. Are we going to bring up that
Shapiro guy?
Probably. That brings up to us to 2014. This one signed in March. What we got in this one was roster spots back to 12. For those that don't know, we actually started at 13. And then it dropped to 11. 12's hard enough with injuries. 11 was too difficult. We got that up to 12. There actually was in 2014. And I remember this. They put in a fine. Teams had the option to fine players if they came late from overseas. They didn't have to do it. They had the option. I think Bill Laimbeer tried to do it, and everybody exploded, and it didn't happen.
Bill was like, let me try this out.
They also added, for real, they also added a time off bonus. If you didn't go overseas, you could get a little cash. We went from having to room on the road to now if you have 5 years of service or more, you get your own room. And there was an increase in games to a possible 38. I don't think we got to 38 till much later, but a possible 38. And that's going to come back in this 2020 agreement, which we all know, we reference all the time. It was signed January. So it expired in October of 2019. It got signed in January of 2020 after an extension.
Affectionately known as the shirt before the shirt.
Well,
did you? Oh,
it's fuck. I don't mind.
Sorry.
There goes Megan. 100% maternity leave is what we got, plus a childcare stipend. All players got their own hotel rooms. All players also were no longer in economy. We were in like economy plus, comfort plus, whatever you call it, on whatever airline, or better. All the money went up. We already talked about this last week, prioritization, the impact of that, how we were able to get more money. Plus, there was now a supermax, which allowed, what is called like the bird rights in the NBA. So if I'm in Seattle, it gives Seattle the ability to pay me more than another team could offer me, which was the regular max. So Seattle could give me super max, another team could give me regular max. That was meant to help in free agency. And what also went up, and I know a lot of people got their panties in a twist about the league going to 44 games this year. That was negotiated in this CBA. The league always had the right to go to 44. So the money we negotiated for was actually at a 44 game season. But what we didn't foresee was that the calendar would stay the same. That the schedule wouldn't be extended, right? We wouldn't get more days, more weeks if it went to 44. But players didn't get less money by us going to 44, just to kind of put that misconception. And yes, this is why we call this CBA, the CBA before the CBA. You can see all the things that were done in comparison to previous. It was really the one that set the foundation for hopefully this one to be amazing. And there you have it, folks. A little CBA history lesson.
Thank you for that. I feel like I'm ready to.
Hopefully it was interesting.
It is. No, it actually is really, and it's important to do that because this is most people's first CBA. that they're like really thinking about and know about and are talking about. And there's like lots of misconceptions. And that's why I started off the beginning of the segment with just a harrowing fright about the deadline coming up, but it's actually very normal. So it's great to get a little bit of context on that. I also want a little context on what Adam Silver said. And I want you to break down what that all means. He was on the Today Show, this was maybe a couple weeks ago now, saying that players deserve it, but then also moved away from saying that they deserve the rev share. So what was he really like trying to say there about like the share? Because he was like, they deserve share, but is it rev share? But like, what was he really getting at, you think? How did you read it, rather?
Yeah, I think the league and the players all want this to get done. I do think that is the starting point. So this isn't necessarily specific to what Adam said. And I think my stance, we actually talked about this on Pablo's pod, my stance is players should get paid as much as humanly possible while also giving the league a chance to continue to grow. Because when that growth happens and that pie gets bigger, players will benefit from that. So they need the ability to do that. They need money to do that. Players need to get paid. And that's obviously, if you read any article, that's constantly the juggle. As far as what Adam was saying, it's really hard to know because, you know, I heard all of it, right? I understand he moved away from the word share. I didn't have that big of a reaction to it because it came after him pointing out the NBA, the comparison to the NBA and how the NBA is different. And the NBA is different. The NBA is owned by the NBA owners. And so a split is much easier. It's much more straightforward. As we know, the WNBA is owned 42% by NBA owners, 42% by WNBA owners, and 16% by investors. And so what does that share actually look like? And I just think I saw both sides as I normally do, and I'm standing on both sides in a sense, which, like I said, I hate myself also, everybody. But to play it real even, I get why people were upset at him moving away from share. I also don't think he meant it like so literally.
Okay.
Like, I don't know that he meant the players don't deserve a rev share. I don't think that's what he meant. I really don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's like, well, what does that share look like? And how do we get the players paid as much as possible while also allowing the league to grow? That would be my guess.
That's your reading of the leaves.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have some final predictions on when do you think this will get done? Come on, give us something. Give us a date.
No idea.
Give me a date.
I really don't know. I mean, if you look back at the history lesson, God, if history repeats itself, February. We want this done by January, February. But I will throw in, you got 2 expansion teams waiting to do their expansion drafts. You've got free agents, the whole league, waiting to sign to their teams. And obviously at some point, it's going to bump up to the WNBA draft if it keeps going. So there's a lot of moving parts. It's really difficult to predict. Yeah, that's that.
Okay, well, I'm going to say February 4th.
Okay.
So just timestamp that, everybody. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, topic 2. Lots of WNBA coaching hirings are happening. Every single time one has happened, I've been like, what do you think, Sue? Tell me what to think. At the end of the season, 3 of the teams had parted ways with their head coach. Obviously, the New York Liberty fired Sandy Brondello, or they split ways. Fired?
Yeah, her contract
was up.
Expired, yeah.
Regardless, they're splitting ways. The Dallas Wings fired their head coach, and the Seattle Storm didn't renew contracts with their head coach. And as you were talking about, the 2 expansion teams, we have the Toronto Tempo coming in. And, oh my God, who's the other team?
For Portland Fire.
Oh my gosh, Portland Fire. That's right. I just talked to my sister about getting some season tickets. So that makes 5 openings total in the league. All but one of those has been filled. As your nieces would say, the Liberty are still searching it up, doing their best. Toronto Tempo hired Sandy Brondello. Portland Fire hired former Cleveland Cavaliers assistant coach Alex Sarama. Dallas Wings named longtime University of South Florida women's basketball coach Jose Fernandez.
Good friend of Coach Auriemma.
That was my favorite part of the byline. I was like,
good friend of Gino Auriemma.
From here forth, I don't have a LinkedIn page, but if I ever got one or just I'm going to start doing this, like I'm just going to start putting my friends on my bio pages. Like that's amazing.
Yeah.
That was
Friend of Alex Morgan.
yeah. Friend of Boots. Friend of Lori. Friend of Brad. Anyways, I thought that was hilarious. And Seattle Storm hired Sonia Rahman, former assistant for the Memphis Grizzlies and the New York Liberty. So who are you most excited about on this list?
I think what I'm most excited about, or who I'm most excited about on this list, is all of them. Well, Sonia, first and foremost. Why do I keep
Storms?
Obviously. But really what I'm excited for is how all of these coaches took a different path to get to the WNBA. And really what that signals is this is now a destination for people. This is now a destination for people. I think there's enough money to attract talent, which has always been. Listen, that goes whether it's coaches, refs, even players.
Mm-hmm.
There's European players who didn't come over here because there wasn't enough money. So we lost that on talent. So that's really what excites me. I know there's going to be, a lot of conversation about like lack of former players and lack of Black women and like representation in that way. And I'm obviously 100% on board for that conversation as well. But you want to have, I think, a league set up where skill and talent want to be a part of it. And that, to me, in this vacuum, is what this represents. But there are some first-timers.
What would you be looking for or, like, specifically asking the coaches who have no W experience? Like, what's your, like, I'm sussing them out?
Yeah. So I'm not anti this by any means. I don't think you have to have had been in the WNBA to then become a WNBA head coach. But the first thing I'm sussing out, I'm asking them all kinds of questions and seeing what they know about it. Because the WNBA is women's basketball, but it's its own version. The same way college basketball is women's basketball. It's its own version. You have to know teams. You have to know players. You have to know styles. You know a lot of these stories, but I do have in my career stories. I never experienced it, but stories of people. And yeah, they've been men coming into the WNBA. Nolan Richardson comes to mind.
Tough.
He coached Arkansas men's college basketball to a national championship. He's a great, legendary coach.
Go for her.
They played a certain style. 40 minutes of hell was their tagline. Played all over the place. You had to be in great shape. He played pretty much the entire team. You have to do that in order to play that style. He came into the WNBA. He coached Tulsa, the Shock. That team was the Detroit Shock. This is a team that we've talked about, the Detroit team, as being one of the best dynasties or one of the best teams.
Conversation.
They were. So that's who he inherited. Some players didn't want to go because they didn't want to play for him. Some, when they got there, he didn't want because they didn't fit the style. And some tried it and wanted to be traded. Before you knew it, there was like no remnants of Detroit on this team. And he didn't last very long because that style doesn't work. Yeah. You can't go 12 deep in the WNBA. You have to have the absolute perfect roster for it.
Yeah.
So I've seen it. Even Paul Westhead, who eventually won a WNBA championship because he did learn. He struggled in his first year, just like knowing the players. Lauren Jackson had like 25 in the first half because he wasn't double teaming her. He was just playing her straight up with a post player that clearly couldn't guard her. He just didn't know. So to answer your question, I'd be putting them through the ringer on their understanding of the league and the players and the styles and what style they think would work.
All right. Well, go Storm is what I heard.
Storm. You know what? The one thing I would add, I do think that the WNBA is prime for the picking on doing something outside the box, but it can't be too far outside in the ways that I just described with Nolan Richardson. It can't be too far out.
Meaning stylistically.
Yes. But you can be, I think you can be strategic. Actually, I'm excited to talk to our next guest. I think she's going to have some opinions on this. You ready to bring her in?
I'm absolutely ready to bring her in.
Okay. Natalie Nakase made waves this WNBA season as the first coach of the Valkyries, and she earned Coach of the Year after leading them to a surprising playoff berth. Natalie has played and coached all over the world. She walked on at UCLA as a college student, went on to play in the National Women's Basketball League and in Germany before transitioning to coaching. She coached in Germany and Japan, becoming the head coach of the men's Saitama Broncos. Since 2012, she's been in the U.S., first as a coach for the Clippers, and then with the Aces for their championships in 2022 and 2023. We are so excited to welcome Natalie Nakase to the show. Support for A Touch More comes from Google Pixel. When it comes to upgrading your phone, you could settle for the same old, same old. Or you could decide it's time to get outside of your comfort phone with the Google Pixel 10. So what does a phone that never settles look like? It looks like an industry-defining camera with a new built-in camera coach that guides you on how to get the very best from every shot. It looks like unprecedented time-saving tools like Magic Q, which can help pull up the right info right when you need it. It looks like being able to share your camera in Gemini Live to have a back-and-forth chat about what you're seeing. And it looks like mind-blowing video generation, which allows you to create videos of practically anything you can imagine in Gemini simply by describing it. Head to the Google Store now to learn more about how Google Pixel never settles.
Camera coach results may vary. Magic Q availability varies. User 18 and up. Check responses for Gemini Live. Compatibility and availability varies. Users 18 and up. Subscription required and availability varies for VO3 video generation. Users 18 and up.
Support for A Touch More comes from Delta. Realizing your full potential starts with recognizing the steps you need to get you there. That might look like adding a training day or 2 or 3, and don't get me wrong, that can be a grind. But if you're actually able to make that mental shift and combine it with action, you can become unstoppable. Through a series of small steps, all building on each other, you can reach your destination. And once you get there, looking back and seeing how far you've come feels that much sweeter. There are always greater heights to reach, and Delta Airlines is always there to help connect you to your full potential. In 2022, Delta Airlines became the official airline of the National Women's Soccer League as part of their commitment to invest in and support equity for women. It's a cornerstone of Delta's investment to improve the air travel experience for everyone and help you get to where you need to be, from season kickoff to the championships. Natalie, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on an amazing season. I mean, first and foremost, what you been doing? How's the off season going?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm excited. No, I slept. I slept for 3 days. That was the biggest thing. No one, everyone told me it was going to be exhausting, but to actually go through it first time, it was exhausting. So I slept. Then went straight to, a vacation spot, water,
Nice.
beach, chilled. And then I just recently got back from shadowing Joe Mazzulla in Boston. So
Oh,
I did
yeah.
my rounds. I'm doing
saw
my
a clip of
mentoring
that.
rounds. Yeah.
I saw a clip.
So,
You
yeah.
guys chopping it up. Veronica was there with you, Veronica Burton. What were you guys talking about?
just how to get better, right? I mean, we didn't win obviously this season. And so it's just, how can we improve our mental, physical, tactics, just everything. And so it was really good to kind of see a different type of, team that Joe's putting together. And so how are they preparing for their season, which is going to be different.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we understand that winning a WNBA championship is always the goal. And so the Valkyries are still on that quest. But you did have a very, very successful season by so many different metrics. You've done what no other expansion team has done. You made the playoffs. So take us through what happened for you guys to achieve that from like day one of training camp, well, even before that, because we had a whole expansion draft, but from day one to then securing that 8th seed, like how did that happen?
I mean, that's a lot. Day one, yeah, it was more, actually even before that, right? It was like, how can we get connected before we step ground on training camp? Because everyone knows when you get on training camp and you don't know, your teammates and the coaching staff, it's awkward. Like it is so awkward. And so I tried to, put together, Zooms, like happy hours, like how can we kind of get connected before we started? So then the first day wasn't like, who am I checking up? Like, who am I going against? And so I think that was just a good way to introduce them. And then on day one, we were like, yeah, this is going to be pretty much a defensive minded day. You might die. So be prepared. But no, I mean, you guys understand the players that we have and you guys know who they are. They're killers. That was our identity from the jump. But based off of actually them, like everyone was very tough-minded, competitive, hardworking, and so it kind of fit, I think, from the jump in day one. Yeah.
You said, I mean, from the very beginning when you got this job, you wanted the team to be built on that grit, culture, hard work. What's your like personal philosophy on those traits, and where do those come from?
You guys kind of know the saying that you kind of do want to adapt players and coach players kind of like yourself, and so selfishly, fuck it. Selfishly, yeah. Like I think I kind of relate a little bit. I know how to push those buttons in that way. Now, not everyone is like that. And so for me, being a first-time head coach, I had to learn, obviously, how to adapt to each different, player, which was a fun part of my job, I felt. But yeah, I think when you're competitive and when you have, this year was, this season was 44 games, like how can I get the most out of each player? And so competitive edge, grittiness. I didn't know offensively, like was the offense that I was going to put in, was it going to flow exactly? So like, let's really hang our hats on the defensive end. So our defense then creates, more offensive opportunities. So that was kind of my mindset.
What are some like specific ways that you push those buttons? Because every coach is like, I want my players to be really competitive and gritty and hardworking. And like, there's like a couple of teams that can say that, like really and truly. And this is always the case. Like there's a few teams, and it's not always the best teams either, that can actually say that. And your team is like, every time I watched you play, I was like, they're making it so hard for the other team to try to win this game. Obviously, you're trying to win the game, but your expansion team, that have that sort of stacked against you, but like your teams were just, your team never lost a game like for itself. What are some like specific ways that you did that without giving up, I guess, your special sauce?
Megan, Megan, you're going to be in my staff meetings. Shoot. Okay, without revealing, it does go back to like the player themselves. Like it really does. It's who they are. That I can't change. That of how they grew up, the struggles, the traumas that each individual player went through. That was something that we tried to obviously open up about early. So then you kind of know where I can push and when I could push and how I could push. I think that's important. But no, I mean, I wouldn't have picked these players, and like I said, I was intentional about it, if they didn't spark my attention of that competitiveness. But as the season goes on, I could tell you, like, there are moments where, like, I had to motherfuck them. Like, I had to go at them. They're like, they needed it. And at times it was funny because they're just like, give it to us. Like, it was actually an open, that was the coolest thing about our team. We're so close that we were very open and honest about when we needed it, how. And so then I just started to get a feel, right, of like, oh, here it is again, boom. And then I would call a timeout, or I would just sometimes, mix it in early on pregame. Like you guys know what it's like to be on a team. Like you could feel the temperament of your team when they're high, when they're low. And it's not just a collective, but sometimes it's an individual thing that you have to see. And I think my staff as a whole too, like really helped on letting me know like how each player was feeling kind of like day to day, really.
What about when it comes to taking risks, right? Like we already mentioned you working with Joe Mazzulla. You have been quoted as saying a lot of the advice from your mentors, which there are a ton in basketball, given your experience. What were some of that some of the advice was that they were telling you, hey, don't be afraid to take big risks as a head coach. So what were some of those risks that you took?
These are very intimate questions here, Sue.
We're coming with the hard hitters. We haven't even gotten to your playing career yet. That's next.
Okay. Yeah, I think, what, actually I was just talking about that. Like, Joe said, don't be afraid to die, like your overall kind of mentality. And that means like take big risk, live life to the fullest. So I kind of had that like in the back of my mind sometimes in games of like tactics, and again, credit to my staff for getting them prepared and being on the same page of like, we would prepare and be like, hey, these are going to be moments where we want to be a little bit more aggressive. So the key is like, make sure our team knows like when we're going to do it, how we're going to do it, how aggressively we're going to do it. And so, sometimes I was like, F it, I'm going to do it right now. So like out of a timeout or end a quarter or something, like you just go balls to the wall. And that's kind of what we did sometimes. We're just like, let's just be aggressive. And then from there, you learn from it, right? Did it work? Did it not work? And that's kind of like the balance of being, risky and then kind of learning from it. Did it work?
Yeah, I love that because the idea of, just go out there and die. Obviously, we know Joe Mazzulla likes to take it to life or death from time to time.
He takes it to the limit, as they say.
But I did play for a coach that, through his experience, had been fired a couple times. And by the time he got to us, what he brought to us was like, I've been fired. I'm not afraid of that. And I think first of all, that was, it was something powerful about that. I think it seeped into the team as well. Yeah. And from there, you learn how to take risks. You're not scared of them. You understand the balance and you go from there. How do you think your playing career and really the path of it, right? So for those that don't know, Nat walked on to UCLA. That was your dream school. Walks on to UCLA. By the time you get to your junior and senior year, you're a starter. Right? That's not like the typical walk-on story. So how do you think your path in your college career specifically helps shape who you are now as a coach?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I just think I like to take the more difficult route. I hate easy. I hate things that are kind of like gifted to you. I hate things like that. Like that's why I think I didn't take the full ride offer instead of rather than walk on, because I was different. I wasn't like elite. So then having a starting spot and given, a full ride wasn't an attractive thing for me. I was like, I like the walk-on opportunity. I like the struggle. I like to prove them I could start, I could play. Just because I had so many people when I did make that decision. So many people in my circle actually told me that was a bad idea. And they're like, you're never going to play at UCLA.
And you were like, thank you.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to hear.
Ammo in the pocket.
Appreciate that.
Exactly. I remember the conversation. I remember who it was. And my dad was like, we're not talking to that person ever again. So, let's move on. And so, I just utilized it as motivation. And that kind of just was kind of in my DNA, is just kind of taking the tougher route. I think that builds character. I think that builds a type of resilience that is needed in sports. And when I look back at my childhood, my dad did that to me when I was young without me knowing. So in grade school, when you guys are just beating everyone at recess and stuff. And so my dad was at 10, my dad was like, hey, I'm going to put you in a boys league. And I was like, why? Why are we doing this? And then sure enough, it was because they're faster, stronger. So it just was making it more challenging. Mm-hmm. And then in high school, I was playing beating up on some of the kids my age. And so he's like, well, I'm going to push you into a women's league. And I'm like, Jesus, what are you doing to me? But I get it. I now understood what my dad's philosophy was, not in the moment, but he always put me at the bottom. Whatever new team was, he always made me the worst player. And then he wanted me to strive and work really hard and learn to see if I can be the best player in that. So it's kind of been a little bit of the way my dad raised me.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Oh, I love that too.
It's like Kill Bill meets Mr. Miyagi. You're like, why am I doing this? And then you wake up and you're like, oh, like a ninja. What? You've seen those movies, right, Megan?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I definitely understand.
Those were my takeaways.
This is a constant thing that happened with Sue and I. Is Sue has she's a large language model. She has all the information ever in the world, and it just gets stored in her brain. And I'm I have 2% of it, and I'm just
no.
I see things, and then I just forget about them.
Movies, mostly.
Only
movies.
Yeah.
I've seen all these movies, and I'm just what's the point of The Lion King? I have no idea. I don't know.
I'm like you, Megan. I'm like you. Just enjoy it. I'm not really looking for the whole, what are we trying to learn?
I'm looking at the movie, but am I watching it? I don't know.
I feel like Kill Bill and Karate Kid are pretty straightforward, guys.
I know.
They're pretty straightforward.
I know. I don't know what happens. Okay. It's a blacking out that happens. Earlier in the year, pretty early on in the season, Sue, I don't know if you heard her say this about your team, but she started calling you guys EuroLeague Light, which I thought was just so funny.
And there's a reason.
Yeah. No, obviously you had so many international players on your team, and you guys really went hard in expansion draft and doing that. Was it hard to integrate that Euro style into the W? Because obviously it worked as an asset. So how did you integrate that all and get the most out of those players?
No. But again, this is my first, it's my first year. So no, I had nothing to compare it to. But no, I think in you can see it as two ways. Like, I think in both ways, like they pick things up. I think in terms of like all the passing and the reads and everything like that, like I actually was very happy, especially in our fast pace. I was like, wow. Like we ended up, because of like the time frame of when they came over, like the internationals actually were together on one court, and then we had players that are coming early, like V, Mo, like and Kate. They came early, so they actually were on separate baskets. But when we kind of looked at both, like the internationals were moving that ball like just like fluidly, unselfishly, and so it got to a point where it's like, hey, are you guys watching this? Are you guys watching this court too? Like it was, just a great learning tool to see how quickly they were making the reads, and like how, like I said, like fluid. So it was, again, I let them kind of create their own pace. I let them have, their own onus on their offense, because again, I was learning everyone for the first time. It wasn't like I was carrying over anything, well, other than Tip and Kate. So yeah, I kind of just let it flow the way it did. And then I just try to put, obviously, the players in their positions to be as successful as possible.
Real quick, part of the EuroLeague Light nickname was, yes, of course, you had international players, but it was more so the gritty and the griminess that with which you guys played, because that is what playing in the EuroLeague is. And on top of your European players, you had all of these, like 6th, 7th, 8th players from other teams. What do? They're scratching and clawing to stay on rosters. Yeah. And that's exactly what playing in EuroLeague is like. Every game is like you're scratching and clawing.
Yeah.
And that's,
it was a compliment.
And that is where, oh yeah, definitely.
Huge
but that's
compliment.
where it was less about the international players themselves and more about the grit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You didn't explain that to me.
Yeah,
I did. I thought I did.
More to the flow. I thought
I know, but that was still a great question.
Yeah. Well, because it's like a different style in a lot of, I mean, same, but like a different style in a good way. Sure. It's different. It's a, just kind of like an offbeat from college basketball or, a lot of the leagues that, or the W that other players have played in. So I loved it. We love an international player. Love it so much. Okay, we're going to get into a really controversial topic, the refs.
Oh, God.
You're probably one of the calmer ones. We're not going to bring up the craziest ones. Along with everybody, obviously has complained about the refs, and not even complaining. It's just like raising the issue because they aren't at the level of the players on the court. I think that's how I always look at it. Like they aren't at the level of the game. Ergo, it's going to create issues. From your experience across, everywhere that you've coached in all the different leagues, what are a few areas where you feel like need addressing that can like help elevate the quality and the consistency of the officiating, but like on the court? Like what was a couple things you want to see change that you feel like would really just like elevate the quality of the game, which is what everybody wants. That's everybody's complaining about, is the quality of the game goes down when the officiating is just too involved in the game and inconsistent.
Ooh, I'm trying to be as mindful as possible with this question, because this is a tough question. Yeah, so I think number one, it starts, with bettering yourself, right, in the off season. So I think right away, like I would like to know, like, what is their training? What is the training? What is the requirements to be a WNBA ref? That's kind of really where I want to start, is just because I think, like you said, they're not at the level as what, the NBA, the WNBA is, like where we're at. And so how can we get better? Are they watching film? Are they going back and are they studying? Like they need to also study some of the players on how they maneuver, how they move, because then you kind of see like how players are getting extra calls or, possibly, flopping or just
we call it manipulating.
For sure. Players are going to manipulate. Players are smart. Yeah. They're going to manipulate They're going to manipulate and take every single advantage that's possibly available to them. Of course,
obviously.
So you got to be at that level as well.
Yeah, we're all toddlers.
Yeah, no,
We're taking whatever we can get.
Don't roll out a drill that has a loophole in it. It's just like players immedially are going to exploit it.
Yeah. So I think the training has to be at a level as all the other the players, the coaches, like we're all doing things in the off season. So I think that has to be there to raise the bar. I think just to start. I'm gonna flip it. What do you guys think?
I've already done my whole shebang on this. Do you have anything? I can quickly, but do you have anything?
Well, you say yours first, because sometimes I accidentally adopt your ideas as my own. And I'm like, wow, look at this thing I thought of. And it's actually, she said that 3 months ago.
I just think the points of emphasis can change. I've played with the national team. I've actually played college rules as a professional. And very quickly you adapt to less physicality. Very quickly, you understand you can't hand check, you have to stop. So I think points of emphasis and the physicality with which is allowed can change. I actually, and I've spoken about this 1,000 times, I do think if we lowered 6 personal fouls for each player to 5 in a 40-minute game, first of all, it makes sense. We all play 40-minute games our whole lives. Not people aren't fouling out left and right. And what do, Nat? You're a guard, you pick your second foul up in the first 12 minutes of the game. What do? You adjust.
Yeah.
And so if every player adjusted based on their actual personal fouls, I think that also opens up space for the physicality to drop. And then you can showcase the talent and showcase the skill.
I agree. Okay. I think it's just I think when was it in the semis maybe this year? It was, and this is nothing against Lexi Hall. Again, players are going to exploit everything. But she's barreling through every single screen. And I'm like, just call the first one. And she's not going to do it again. And it's clearly something's going on. You can't have 3 bodies exploding off of screen and nothing happened. So either it's a bad screen or it's the player's running through it or what. So just little stuff like that where I never understand from the refs' perspective their lack of self-preservation, because I'm y'all have the whistle. Mm-hmm. Just blow it. You are the one in charge of it. But then it's you let it go a little bit and then it's playoff basketball and then it gets tight and then things... Yeah, players get pissed and retaliate too, for sure. So I just feel in the beginning, you can just call it a little bit tighter, more freedom of movement. I don't want to see people just banging into each other for 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, but I think it'll obviously everybody's talking about it. So I'm sure we'll be seeing tons of change.
And also, I think, is it paying the refs more? Is it getting them more education?
Yes.
I think part of it is that this is the lower of the best situations for refs. And so there's a lot of refs that have been in the W and then they go get paid more and they go to the NBA. So it's that has to be there too. This can't just be the lowest level in the training ground, because it's the highest level of basketball that there is, and the players and everybody deserves that in it. So anyways.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I think the pain, if that's true, then they do need to be, paid, I think, more than, or just paid for what they're worth. I do agree.
Yeah.
I think that will definitely help, and then not to jump back, but to talk about just even for my experience for my first season is just the consistency in terms of how they're communicating with us. I'll have just completely different conversations from the different refs. And so what does that look like? What does a conversation look like? How much am I allowed to verbally express myself and how much am I not? If there's a consistent, level across the board, I think that will help just tremendously on calls and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
So when you think back to your range of experience in professional sports, whether it be as a head coach, whether it be as an assistant in the NBA, obviously then come to the WNBA, actually let's go specific to the NBA. What from your NBA experience translated to the WNBA? Were you something you were oh, I learned this in the NBA and this works in the WNBA?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it, the X's and O's, a lot of that can translate. That's all just determines on what you have talent wise and how you could obviously, put your best players and the ball in the hands of your best players. So a lot of that, I used, and it's to me, it's I think the difference level of, in all honesty, of just the attention from the W and the NBA at that time when I was there. So I think the pressures for me, like in terms of building my relationships with the players, like I was with, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, like players like that, just really trying to build my relationship with them was a little bit stickier, I think slower because of the amount of pressure that these guys get. Like I had no idea the eyes that they get, the criticism on the level of actually being in their shoes until I was around them. So I kind of got going a little bit differently, but more it was a relationship building that I felt took a little longer than it was with the W, where I feel the W, like I could be completely more vulnerable. But when I was able to break down those walls, I mean, I was able to learn some of the, Chris Paul like taught me so much, from his lens and like how much he studied film. I mean, he said, he's like, I watch every game every night. And I'm like, how? How is that possible? And then he's like, well, at home I have 3 screens up here and 3 screens. I'm like, well, I don't have that, as an intern video. So I would like put my TV on, put my laptop on, have my cell phone, just so I could like be able to build a conversation with him and on what light, because he really enjoyed like talking about close games. And so that was something like, okay, if I found a close game, hey, Chris, are you watching this? Are you watching this game? Like, what do you think? And so, being in those pockets, I think really helped me, as I move on and I teach like, Veronica and, our point guards like Carla. I think that really has helped.
Yeah. What was the biggest adjustment then when you got to the WNBA? What was, I guess, maybe the toughest adjustment? The answer is charter flights. So besides that, what was the toughest adjustment?
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The toughest, gosh. This is just because of the way we transitioned. I didn't have me, Becky, and Tyler were all in the NBA. We were all in the NBA at the time. So we didn't have a chance to collaborate, I think, before training camp. So literally it was like first day of training camp and it's like, hey, Tyler. And like, I'm meeting Tyler Marsh for the first time. So I think that was a big adjustment. And Becky's like, okay, we're going to do, this in training camp. And me, Tyler, and CT, we're all like, holy crap, like, what? What are we doing? What? And she's like, okay, Nat, you got this drill. And then me and Tyler like, what drill? What are we doing? Like, so, but it was so cool, like, just to see, obviously, like, once Becky took the lead, like, we're just, following her footsteps with, like, all the knowledge that she has, all the experience that she took from her days, in time with the Spurs. And so that was different. But at the same time, like, the players, like I said, they're so open. They were so open to what we wanted to address on both ends, offensively and defensively, and just, like, our culture. And, and like Becky likes to have fun. And I think that was like kind of the coolest thing. I was like, yeah, we could like dance. We could play music. We could like do all this. And she's like, yeah, like this is what I want the culture to be. And so I thought that was really cool. That's a little bit different, I think, than the NBA.
Yeah. For some reason, it didn't truly hit. Maybe because Becky played in the WNBA. Maybe because I've known you for as long as I've known you. But you really had 3 coaches on your staff who had never been in the WNBA in terms of the coaching ranks. So 3 coaches new to the WNBA all coming together, one staff. We obviously have some, coaching positions open right now. Some have been filled. Some are still about to be filled. Do you think, because some of the newbies, Jose Fernandez from South Florida don't have WNBA experience. Do you think that matters?
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I think now being in this seat, I think for me, care factor is huge. If I can be super transparent, like, and again, what I got to learn firsthand too from Becky is like, you gotta care. You gotta care about, not just the on-court, actually more off-court than on-court, in all transparency. Like, you gotta know what's going on in your players' lives. How are they feeling? How are they doing? Because I truly believe now that I'm in this spot, like if I don't have their mental focus, it doesn't resonate on the court, right? So there's going to be times where I'm like looking and I'm like, hey, if y'all don't want to practice today, like there's going to be times like of that, because I can see like what's going on, and I think that goes a long way. So does that matter if you have double WNBA experience or NBA? No, I think it's just the heart of the coach. I think that's the number one thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, looking forward to next year. Joe, the owner, Joe Lacob, Already said, honestly, when he hired you, he expects a championship within 5 years.
Which she loved.
Which you
Because
loved.
this motivates you.
Sign me up.
Tell me I can't do it.
You
Perfect.
psycho. Yeah. You're like, perfect. I'm at the bottom. I'm getting to the top. Your dad probably loved it. Do you feel like there's extra pressure, or you're like, I already put this pressure on myself and for next year?
They're like, yeah, given that you made the playoffs
They're
already.
like extra. Is Joe like, actually, it's 3 years. I changed. You know what? Next year would be great.
He has mentioned, he's like, we could do it earlier. He's like, if you want to do it early, we could do it earlier. And
I'm okay
I was
with
like,
that.
I was like, Joe, no, no pressure. In all honesty, like pressure to me, it's a made up word. It's just something that, you can't see. It's not physical. Like it's all in your head. And so that's why I talk about the mental part and how important it is to know where your players are at mentally, to care for them when they need it. It could be every day for some players. And so, no, not big on pressure. I feel like I'm a big coach in terms of control what you can control. And so what is that? I mean, we lost 21 games last year. So how can I go back and I look at that and reflect and learn from my mistakes, get better? Obviously I'm trying to jump in and learn from my mentors and my staff as well. Like they're doing a deep dive and trying to get, as much, tactics and studying right now at the moment. And so, yeah, I believe in preparation. I believe in the more you prepare in the off season, the more you can learn from your mistakes and your losses. I'm a big believer in that. I think that builds confidence. And then when you have the ultimate confidence in the world, like there is no pressure. And I love to set that standard for my players every single game. Like you guys, there is no pressure. Like we have prepared. We are so connected. And I think when you're connected, I think sky's the limit. I think you walk into that game thinking like we're going to win. And I like that type of mentality.
How are you thinking about we've talked a ton about free agency, and it's going to be a total bonanza, banana fest, circus, wild, totally unprecedented, once in a lifetime opportunity for everyone in it. Like, it's crazy. There's like 2 people under contract, and then like the young kids. Like, I have been saying, I think that Golden State is maybe the most attractive.
The destination.
She
has been saying that.
I have been. Particularly for a few people who
is that because you banged the drum once?
Listen, Ballhalla loves me. I don't know, and I love it.
She bangs the drum once.
Bangs the drum once, and I'm
Talking
talking
about destination.
It is though. It is.
It's
like,
great.
California's amazing. Obviously, the team
can't deny
super
it.
well invested in, playing an amazing building. They have an incredible coach. How are you even thinking about approaching this free agency? Is so different from any other one that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And who are you going after?
No, I'm kidding.
Just kidding.
No, I just, again, like it's all about how can we bring the best team together, to Ballhalla. Like you said, we have an amazing fan base. I mean, I can't get over the type of hostility and noise like our crowd brought. And so, yeah, it's just literally bringing, I think for me, like doing a lot of deep dive in terms of what is the best 12 that we can bring together. Like I said, like the expectations, the standards is to win a championship. And the fact that Joe likes to be completely vocal about it, like I said, like let's go, like that. I love that challenge. And so, we have to be very mindful, Ohema and I. We are going to have obviously some long, conflicting conversations, I think, because I think we're going to be so passionate about building this team, especially we have come from experience from, winning in Vegas and Ohema winning in New York. And so we're going to just take what we've learned, try to build, the best 12 that we can. Like I said, because we have to win. It's not a choice. Like we have to win.
Oh, I love that.
I love that too.
I know.
I think you should ask about Ballhalla now.
Okay.
She's been dying to talk about Ballhalla.
Well, I want to know from this perspective, because obviously as a player, for me personally, every time the bigger the stadium, the better. I'm like more excited. I feel like I'm more locked in. clearly you guys were excellent at home this year. It's, it's just better when the building is jumping, and Ballhalla has something very special going on there. Do you as a coach, do you coach better in Ballhalla than somewhere else? Or do you get excited, or are you actually shut up, I can't even hear myself think, I'm trying to do this, what's it called, the out of bounds after ATOs. Is it distracting, or do you feel like it sort of raises your level as well?
I would like to say I coach at my best every game, no matter home or away.
We'd all like to say that.
That's a mindset that I have to have as a coach. I also embrace the road too. I love the fact that we never know, are things going to be on time? What's the weather like? Bring it. I love the chaos on the road. No, but Ballhalla, it is probably one of the most uncommon places I've ever been around. From the energy to the timing of when they cheer, but that I can't hear. Yeah, I can't hear. In playoffs, I had no idea what was going on. I'm screaming V, look over here, Carla, couldn't get them. I had no idea what was going on. So no, I embrace it. I actually think what's really unique about Ballhalla is because it was able to transform so quickly, that we kind of use this term, we're wildly inclusive. It's inclusive of everyone. I think what I saw with so much joy is that so many people from different walks of life, from kids, from families to different races, different ethnicities, it was so inclusive. And I thought that was so cool. At the end of the day, it was all about, having joy within 2 hours. I wanted Ballhalla to feel like a party for 2 hours, whether you're celebrating life, you were, obviously trying to encourage us to win, whether it was just to get away from, outside life for 2 hours. I wanted to feel like that. And sure enough, that was it. I've never been in a place as insane as Ballhalla. So no, I embraced it. I definitely embraced it.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. Fun. The inclusivity, like you said, was incredible. I think maybe a lot of people were thinking oh, is this going to be kind of the same vibe as the Warriors? And no shade to the Warriors, but they do not look the same when they are playing in Chase Center as when y'all are playing in Chase Center. That is a whole different culture. And you're right. It's everybody from different races and sexualities and walks of life and kids and families and, just different types of people. And it is super special. We got to go to one of the games this year, and it was an unbelievable atmosphere. Dare I say the best in the W?
Dare you say?
Dare I say? Dare I say?
Dare you say? Well, this definitely was a season of firsts. Obviously going to expansion team. So it's the first season there. Going to the playoffs as an expansion team. But for you personally, as a Japanese American, the first Asian American head coach in the WNBA, you obviously won Coach of the Year. So congratulations on that. But you've spoken about how important this milestone is, not just for the WNBA, for the professional sports world. So I just would love to hear your thoughts about what this means to you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I appreciate that, just for acknowledging all kind of that was very detailed, Sue. I appreciate that. No, I do understand. For me, representation does matter. I don't take this responsibility very lightly. I do think it's kind of a heavy chair now. Kind of now feeling it, being in it. I think being the first, obviously, I'm very grateful for it, but. Obviously, I say, I don't want to be the last. And as I continue to really think about what this responsibility means, I started to really think, in order for me to open up, more doors, I have to win, in a way. I do have to win.
Oh, yeah.
I have to be successful. Yeah. So I think by me winning, then the doors, will open. And so that's a responsibility and a challenge that I've set for myself. Like you guys know, I love it. But I am thinking about that daily, really,
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, winning so often gives you the keys to the doors, to be honest. Yeah. It's great if you can be, the first of something. But yeah, I mean, sports in general and American culture is obsessed and predicated on winning and being the best. And then once you are, which is not right, but it's the way it is.
It's just the way it is.
And it gives you a megaphone.
Yeah, it gives you a megaphone.
Yes.
We've both been in that position and been able to use your talent, obviously, as a coach has nothing to do with where you're from and what you look like and all that, but you can use that to then make it accessible for so many more people. That's awesome.
Well, Nat, you were at our live show when we had some of what was about to be your new players. So we like to play bench start cut on this show. You knew it was coming. You just thanked me for being detailed. Well, I don't know if that's going to continue.
You can thank us for leaving Becky's hoodies out of this. We're not bringing the hoodie blazer combo into this game. We're not.
Appreciate that.
Oh, got you. We just got two for you. First one,
Okay.
Bay Area dances. Bench start cut, the Smees, the Thistle, the Brookfield.
Y'all are gonna make fun of me. What are they? You got to show me. Can
We're
you
not
guys
the
get
ones
up
that
and
are going to
show
be
me?
making fun of you. Is Megan
I feel
gonna,
like it's like,
it's like a
Okay, here we go.
like-
Here we go.
yeah.
like I got chairs all over
Yeah,
me.
we're
I got
connected.
cords. It's
Okay.
like you got to like
We're
hop
strapped in over
back
here.
and then
And
hop
That's
Yeah.
what is that? Which one's that?
I think that's the Smees.
Okay.
Thistle is something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
Okay.
The Brookfield,
I looked up
I'm
the
at a
Brookfield
loss.
earlier.
I'm at a loss.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
I'm not from the Bay Area, so
Yeah.
that was
Okay.
you are.
I'm
Kind of.
actually from Reading, but I claim the Bay teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
So it's basically the dances they do during your games.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all know I'm locked in. Like,
right.
I'm
Focus.
either in Sephora practice facility or I'm in Chase, and so I haven't really gotten those dance moves
Those
yet. But
dances?
I do like. I like the second one that you did. That's
Okay.
I like the second one.
Imagine the beginning
Yeah.
of the fourth quarters is when they do the Thistle dance. You just see Natalie like in the, she's just in the huddle. Sorry guys. ATO's
on.
coming. We're just going to hit this real quick with the fans.
That's funny. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Next one.
Okay.
The LA Clippers, the Las Vegas Aces, the Golden State Valkyries.
Come on, come on, Sue.
I said you wouldn't be thanking
Come
me in a
on.
minute.
Yeah, this. I'm starting to learn. Like duality and understanding like how things could.
Two
things
truths.
could
We're
be
big fans
true.
of two truths up here.
Two truths. So.
Now you know three
Um,
truths. Is that what you're telling
I
us?
could do three. God, it's hard because I've taken so many. I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here for so many reasons of, not having 10 years of like long hours with the Clippers. I mean, those
Yeah.
were very long hours, long days. And then obviously winning 2 championships with Las Vegas Aces, and then here breaking records and Ballhalla. God, come on, Sue. Come on. Okay.
I said I didn't
I
want to
sta-
do this, and I just want the world to know that Megan made me do this one.
I did.
Okay.
That's fine.
Listen,
That's it. Now you can answer.
everybody knows the bit of this game is that Sue puts people in impossible situations. That,
And this
but
one I
everyone
said,
knows it's a.
I don't think
it's
I
a-
should do this.
It's light and a joke, and I said no. Put her in it. You
And
said
that-
before, pressure is made up.
You know what? You're right. You're right. You're right. There's no pressure here. It's just okay. So where I stand, where I am, I'm big where my feet are, where I'm present. So obviously I'm gonna start Golden State.
For sure.
I mean, I love it here. I love the Bay. I love our fans. I love our organization. So we'll start there. But then this is where duality can take us. Just kidding. Just kidding. I think the bench, because of the championships. I mean, you cannot replace
Yep.
winning. It's the championships that you don't, it's a family. Once you win, it's a blood transfusion, through your blood, you're a family for life.
Mhm.
So
There it is.
Vegas, the LA Clippers, I wouldn't be here if I never have been, under all those amazing coaches and players.
Absolutely.
But we got cut.
and they're technically cut.
Listen, they just keep taking hit after hit. Tough. Tough.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot.
Yeah. Tough. Natalie's cutting them. Pablo's
What
investigating
do you
them.
know about aspiration, Natalie?
Yeah. Did you ever get one of those deals?
Just kidding. Thank you so much for coming on. This was an absolute pleasure. We just love you. This is great.
Thank you guys.
Come
I
back
really
anytime.
appreciate it.
Well, I loved every part. I loved how we surprised her with all of our questions. And she was immediately like, ooh, good question. Way to go.
Like, oh my gosh.
Up top. I love how she talked about the grit of her team.
Mm-hmm.
As I was saying earlier, if you bring something different, you can steal wins. And I feel like she was able to steal wins with the grit that they played with. And we found out just how, and I say this it's a compliment, just how psycho she is. I love that.
Yeah. I love it when coaches
She's like, tell me I can't do it.
Yeah, coach. Yeah. I mean, she's hanging out with Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah, she is.
She's just that's just our resident sports, just total nut job.
Yeah.
In the best kind of way. No, she just is like all about it.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love that we absolutely put her in a pretzel with the bench start cuts. That's just the ultimate goal of the bench start cuts.
Hey, your sneeze is pretty good.
Not bad.
Your thistle and your sneeze, pretty on point. I think you're gonna like the Brookfield though. We'll get to that after.
Okay. So you all know that we bicker a lot.
A lot. Like a lot. I would call it championship level bickering.
So we decided it's time to settle this once and for all. Welcome to the ultimate bicker of the week battle, presented by Google Pixel. Over the next few episodes, we're putting our greatest debates to the test. With a little help from Gemini on Google Pixel, of course, we'll go head to head, round after round, until we land on the ultimate, most hotly debated bicker of them all.
The tensions are high, folks. The stakes have never been realer. We have each picked out a picture of ourselves that we have given to the other. The winner of the ultimate bicker will use Nano Banana in the Gemini app to edit the photo in any way they see fit. And then the loser has to post that edit to a Touchmore's Instagram story with zero explanation. You don't get to say why. You don't get to say what happened. Tough. You in?
Yeah, I'm in. It's going to be you.
Okay, this is round one. This question is one of our classic bickers because I won. What's the proper etiquette for sharing an ice cream cone? If you ask for a taste of someone's ice cream, does that allow you a lick or a lick and a bite?
A taste is a taste, Sue. The cone is fair game.
You get to lick, but the cone is off limits, Megan.
I don't think so.
Okay, let's see what Gemini has to say. Hi, Gemini. If you offer someone a lick of your ice cream, are they allowed to bite the cone?
Well, that's a bit of a sticky situation, isn't it? When you offer a lick of your ice cream, you're usually offering just that, a lick. Taking a bite of the cone, it's a bit of a breach of ice cream etiquette. It's like you're sharing, but maybe they're taking a bit too much liberty with your generosity.
Okay, so what if someone asked for a taste? Does that mean a lick or a bite?
A taste could be a small bite or a lick. It really depends on the person and the situation. If you're unsure, you could always ask them to clarify what they mean by a taste.
Okay, but is it rude to bite when someone only offered a lick?
Yeah, biting into someone's ice cream when they offered a lick is generally considered rude. It's kind of like taking more than your fair share, you know? It's always best to stick to what was offered to keep things friendly.
All I heard was Gemini say, yes, it is rude. That's all I need. I think we have a winner, folks.
Okay, fine. You won this time. But we'll see what happens in the next ultimate bicker battle in a couple of weeks.
I can't wait. Sue, 1, Megan, 0.
Tough.
Just a touch more, a little bit. Just a touch more.
Yeah. All right. You know what it is? Before we go, we will leave you with a touch more. Megan, what do you have a touch more time for today?
I got a touch more baby up in here. Lynn B and Dowlow and Marley, her husband, are making a baby. And they just announced it. I thought I peeped it a couple weeks ago. She was wearing just a certain kind of shirt with a certain kind of thing. She was at Pepperdine, and I texted Laura Harvey immediately. She obviously isn't allowed to tell me. But I was like, what's going on with Lynn? This is like, I feel like just, are they in like a pregnancy band? Like everybody's
pregnancy
doing
pact?
A pregnancy pact? Like, do I need to get in there? Is there extra benefits in there? No, I'm just kidding. No, I actually think it's.
You're off that plan, by the way.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I'm off that plan. I didn't do it. I'm already 40. I'm old and shriveled. I think it's really just a huge product of the progress that's been made through CBAs and just generally the federation and leagues supporting women being full women, and whatever that means. Is it freezing your eggs? Is it, good pregnancy policies? I feel like in the past, I had a lot of kids on teams when I was younger, and it was kind of like a community event having a kid. Like everything was just like everybody helped out, but it was like really hard. And I feel like I've seen people get punished for having kids or have it just be really hard to come back. And I think it's like so supported in so many different ways, both emotionally and psychologically, and actually with the benefits. Like they're going to have, and Emma Hayes was just talking about this, creating a sort of like protocol and plan for these players, before they're pregnant, if they want to freeze their eggs and whatever that means. But then also while they're pregnant, what's their training during? What kind of resources are they getting? Obviously after pregnancy, like what's that protocol like? Like when I was playing, it was just like, I guess they'll just show back up when they're fit and like get a chance to play. And now it's just going to be so much more integrated into the whole like 360 vibe of the team and what Emma's doing. So I think that is amazing. And also just congrats to Lynn and Marley. We love them.
Yes,
and their little announcement was just so adorable.
Yeah.
So
those little onesies.
yeah, we love them. What do you have a touch more time for today?
I'm just going to give a shout out to the WNBA. They were named to Glamour Magazine's list of Women of the Year.
That's
So
right.
it was like the whole league, but it also was specific to 5 players that were highlighted: Nafisa Collier, Lexi Hall, Jonquel Jones, and Satu, and Niara Sabali. The theme was sisterhood, which makes sense. That's the beauty of the league. I think my favorite part of this past season was seeing so many people surprised by the stud bud content at All-Star. Like, whoa, they actually hang out and like each other? Yes. And they will go play and want to literally, well, maybe not literally, but tear each other's hair out to win a championship. Both things exist.
Yes.
So for them to be honored in this way, I think is really, really cool, really special. Great read, great article. Go check it out.
I love it. Well, that's it for this episode, everybody. We will see you next week.
Thanks to Google Pixel for their support. If you're tired of settling for the same old phone, it might be time to switch to the Google Pixel 10. It's got the time-saving Magic Cue, which gets you the right info when you need it, a built-in camera coach that helps guide you on how to take the best pic, and the ability to generate videos of pretty much anything you can imagine with Gemini. Head to the Google Store now to learn more about how Google Pixel never settles.
Magic Cue availability varies. User 18 and up. Camera coach results may vary. Subscription required and availability varies for VO3 video generation. Users 18 and up.
Thanks to Delta for their support. When you unlock your full potential, you get to meet a version of yourself you might have never met otherwise. And as the official airline of the National Women's Soccer League, Delta Airlines is there to help connect you to your full potential, to help you grow and recognize the power you have to change yourself, your team, and the world around you. Delta is dedicated to helping you get to where you need to be, from season kickoff to the championships.